because they haven't. Hello, sorry, I'm talking shit.
No, everything is important. Small talk also. How are you?
I'm fine.
Fine, me too. It's a pleasure to make this interview. I try to do it in English. It's been a long time that I'm speaking English, but I have this.
We from Sweden, we are also bad at English, so let us try to understand each other.
When was the first time someone told you about Hammarskjöld? Was it at school?
Yeah, I was probably at school, yeah. So everybody knew about him in school. It was one of the chapters you read about the big Swedish statesman, and then not more than that. And then he's on the 1,000 kroner bill on the money. He's
yes, it's on the bills on the bank.
So all the rappers, the younger generation, they knew him from that. They don't read about him in school anymore, I think.
For them, Dag Hammarskjöld is the same as 1,000 kroner, Swedish kroner.
1,000 kroner.
So they go one Hammarskjöld is 1,000 kroner.
Yeah, 1 Hammarskjöld, 2 Hammarskjöld.
How is it presented to you at the school? How do you imagine him?
Well, in school.
Yes,
in school.
Person, the character.
Oh, I don't remember my school years. You know, I'm 60 now. So I can only make up a story about that, but that will not be true. I don't remember. But you know, it was just some important guy you read about in the book. So that's one of the main objectives with the movie is to, and we succeeded in that, to get a young audience to the cinemas, to educate them about and be proud about one of the greatest statesmen alive in the 60s and 70s. 60s.
Do you have any contact with the family of the diplomat, or do you have any documentation?
Yeah, we have been in close contact with one of the family, Caroline Hammarskjöld.
That has
she has been reading the script and so on. So, and the family is very happy about the film.
I guess.
Yeah. So
I think it's a very good film.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have one or more actors whose acting and film presence inspired you to play this role? Do you have any references to do this role?
No, I just had the script, but then again, I grew up with movies and actors. Of course, I don't know. It's a blend of me and inspiration, and of course, I am inspired by good actors. But no, I'm so old now, so I can just rely on the amount of years I've been around in life. So it's a good work occupation to get older in, because you use your life, everything you've been through, you can use it. It's my toolbox, it's my life.
You are executive producer, and he is economist. He was economist. So how many points do you have in common with this character? How do you think?
Like in economically wise, like 0. 1% maybe. No, I'm not really interested in that. Of course, I have a company that surrounds me, and but no, I always say I'm just an actor.
How do you think your character is made or blinded by this role? Because it seems a little bit naive.
Yeah, well, naive or not, he tried to make this world a better place. I think, for instance, if he was alive today, he would have been day 2 in the crisis in Ukraine. Now it took 6 weeks for the UN to arrive in Ukraine, and they just talked. He was a man of action, so I don't know if naive or not, but he wanted results, and he got it. Maybe he forced it to he did, because he was a pain in the ass for the big powers. So what we say is they wanted to get rid of him. That's what they did.
Yeah. And you should know also that he did many things during the other 9 years he was the general
The
secretary.
Suez Channel.
The Suez Channel crisis. He was one of the guys there who managed to fix that. So huge problem that could end up with a
And he
third
freed
world war.
American soldiers in captivity.
Yeah, there were American pilots that was crashed in China. So he went to China. He was the first to it. And showed them respect, the Chinese government, that he went over there, talked to them. So they released these pilots, not for America's sake, for Hammarskjöld. So he was very popular, and
he was a very skilled diplomat.
yeah, very, very skilled. And Eisenhower found this expression, leave it to dog, because he said, because he said, he fixed everything, so.
And there is another sentence from Kennedy. He said that this is the best statistic in the world.
Greatest statesman alive.
Is he still a symbol, for instance, from young people? He could be a symbol for
that's one of our goals, to educate young audience, and we're so happy that in Sweden and Scandinavia as a whole, the young audience is coming to the cinema to see the movie. Similarities is there with Oppenheimer, that also draw a young audience for some reason. I don't know why it happens, but I think they hunger for other persons than Trump.
Other person on
They need
someone who can exchange that, who can make a better world. I mean, it's not so many
and
politicians.
It's nice from time to time to have a real history, not only
persons that put aside their egos and just work for the community. It's very rare today, I think.
What was the Sweden's position on homosexuality at the time?
Oh, it was not that you ended up in jail, but it was forbidden. Yeah, it was a no thing to do.
How far do you think that actions paved the way to Moist Zombie exile in 1965?
Yeah, I mean, in the end, Katanga returned to Congo. So the way Hammarskjöld wanted to be, that's happened a couple of years later. So in a way, yes.
Yes, you think that it has a big relation. What more can be discovered about this story? Because there are still files classified. So there is still something. What else can happen?
The thing is, you open up the investigation in 2017, and
it's still pending.
Yeah, it's still running, but they feel that they are on the same wavelength that we are in the film. I think they think about the same what's happening, and but they can't prove it. And since America and England have opened up their archives, they can't get this final proof.
But it seems quite clear that it's an assassination. What was the biggest challenge on this role?
Well, to make a recognizable person that you could empathize with, rather than making a portrayal of a superhero, to make a living person out of him. And that was the challenge for me. I think we had a good solution in his solitude and in the center of the political world, in the chamber of where he did the speeches and stuff.
Do you think there is any? Do you think that there's any politic or anyone like him right now?
No, my biggest concern is that there is no one like him around. The political world is filled of egos that don't sacrifice. They want to get more for themselves. Right?
In every country, do you think that it's the
Oh,
same
no, well, there is differences, of course, but the conclusion I come to is that this world is in big need of non-egoistic political persons like him that has one quest for the highest, to make this world a better place.
How do you realize that you want to be an actor? Because I saw before that you have been in Barcelona many years ago.
Yeah, I was here with Ingmar Bergman, the director, in '83, played. I was an extra in King Lear, the Shakespeare play at the big theater here. You have to Google what theater that was. I was 20. I'm 60 now, so 40 years ago. And so you have. What was the question?
The question is, why do you become an actor? Or is it vocational, something that you find?
Could you find any other job?
Yeah. I can't answer that. I still wonder why? What is this? But now it's too late to change.
And what's the biggest challenge as an actor in your life? I guess that it's not this film.
One of the biggest challenges is it's an occupation where if you have your mindset right, you get better and better. The older you get, the biggest challenge is to get the parts where you can use all your tools. And this was a part where I could use pretty much all my tools, and it was a great job to do. So the good parts is not growing on trees. So that's otherwise it's just it's a blessing to get older in this work I have as an actor.
And what is the next challenge? What is the next
to get the next good picture.
But there is any picture in mind?
Oh yeah, I have 4.
Oh.
4 we have to make decisions about, and I still wonder if they're good or bad. I'm working on it. I'll get back to you next year on the festival.
Okay, so one last question, because we have to finish. Do you think society is radicalized right now? For instance, and we have picture intelligence, so when you make a question, there is only one answer. And I think that in general, society becomes close to think or feel that there is only one answer. Do you think that the society is being radicalized right now?
Yeah, well, it's a complicated question, and my word in English are too few to answer that in an intelligent way. But yes, I agree with you. If that's what you think, I agree with you that there is only room for one thinking at a time in the society we have. It's all about the what is it called, all these X platforms and stuff. When somebody says something, everybody has to say the same thing. So it's a smaller world in that way. When I grew up, you could sit with a communist and a blue guy, and it was an open discussion. Today you are banned if you say the wrong thing. It's a narrowed world, and it's a sad story, actually. I hope for this generation to be wiser.
It's interesting. Now we have internet. We can look up everything and see the whole world, and we have become much smaller in our views.
But I think that we can see the whole world in Google, for instance. You have many choices, but the artificial intelligence is getting you only one. So I think that could be the problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
And the last one. Do you like animals? How was your work with this monkey?
Oh, I have. Yes, I like animals. I have 2 dogs. We have 6 cats. We have chickens, and we have 5 horses.
Wow!
Where I live. Yeah. So yes, but as there is a saying: don't work with kids or animals because they can outscope you. They're so natural and cool and nice and alive. So an actor can look like a stupid motherfucker. Excuse me the language. But in this case, I had to fly down 1 week in advance, and I was like, oh, really, do I have to do that? But that was really an important week, one of the most important weeks, because I had to interfere and get to know the monkey guy. And he was super, as you can see in the movie. Yes. He made me better than I ever been.
It seems that
we had a good relation. And he made, otherwise...
if I'm going to go to say hi to him, he would bite me. so I mean they become friends.
He's protective. He tried to defend that.
And all the things you see in the film, he just did it right away, almost.
That's fantastic.
Nice,
And he's not trained.
Okay. So, thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Good questions. Thank you so much.